Okay, in this video we will talk about the web framework in Splunk. Okay, so if you remember the playlist I created for dashboard creation, right? So over there, till the point we discussed about how we can use the simple XML with the dashboard editor to create a dashboard, right? Now apart from that, you can also use the JavaScript and CSS with your dashboard to make it more richer. And there is an option to build the dashboard fully on JavaScript and HTML. That's more on higher or advanced side of dashboard creation. But generally, when we create dashboard in Splunk, right, and we want to enrich it with our own visualizations and we want to customize how it looks, so generally we use the simple XML and its extension like the JavaScript and CSS to make it more richer. So that's why the Splunk Web Framework come into picture over there. So it offers basically a Splunk JS stack, if you see it over here. So which basically a JavaScript library created by Splunk. So that basically contains the pre-built components for searches and the visualization. So whatever charts or visualizations you see in Splunk, or whatever base search or panel level search we create in Splunk, everything can be created in JavaScript level as well. So we will see one by one how to do that one as well, so that when in the real life scenario we will create our dashboard, we will use best of these two, like whatever the feature which is basically easy to implement in XML, we will try to use the XML code, and whatever the features which is basically use or basically very easy to implement JavaScript level, we will move those code portions in JavaScript. So that's how not in real life scenario people develop Splunk dashboard as well. And even I follow the same strategy when I develop Splunk dashboard as well. Okay, now technology stack wise, Splunk JS. So as I told, so Splunk JS basically JS stack basically have the libraries for Splunk views and search managers for working with the searches and interacting with the Splunk data. Now technology wise, the backbone JS is used for the MVC framework. That means if you see in simple XML, we use a lot of tokens, right, for different purposes, right, to make a search dynamic and those stuff, right? So this backbone.js actually provides that particular framework. And required JS basically used to manage the dependencies, and of course they have the jQuery to manage the document level models, right? Suppose you create a button and you want to basically create a code which will basically respond when the button will be clicked, right? So whatever the actions you'll be taking when the button will be clicked, so those stuff you can use jQuery to code as well. Now we will see one example as well, and even you can integrate this Splunk JS libraries in your own web application as well. So that suppose from your own website you want to have some data which you want to parse it from the Splunk or get it from Splunk, or some visualizations you want to get it from Splunk or display in your web page. So those stuff also achievable using this Splunk JS stack. So you can download the Splunk JS stack from the Splunk website and then use it accordingly to your website as well. So I'll be giving that link as well from where you can download this Splunk JS stack. Okay, but if you are inside Splunk, so it is already available inside the Splunk, so you do not need to download anything over there. Okay, now if I just see the component wise, so we can see a bird's eye view. Like we can see two stuff. One is the Splunk views, another is the search manager. If you talk about any dashboard in Splunk, it constitutes of the searches and the panels or panel level visualizations, right? Or you can have inputs as well for your dashboard, right? So all these things can be divided into two parts. One is the Splunk view, another is the search manager. Now under Splunk view, you can have those different kinds of charts, different inputs like the drop down, checkbox, text box, those things, and single views, table views, whatever views are coming, even Splunk search bar as well. Okay, so there are libraries available to create this stuff fully from the JavaScript as well. So okay, so we will see one by one how to do that one. And using this search manager JavaScript libraries, you can create the base searches, you can create the post-process searches, even you can refer the save searches in your dashboard as well. We do it, right? In our dashboard, when you want to refer the save search, in the search, we use the ref keyword, right? So those type of stuff can be done using JavaScript as well. So whatever we are discussing over here, everything belongs to the JavaScript level coding part over here. Okay, so now in this video we will try to see an example of this search manager. Okay, and while doing that, maybe we'll see an example of a single view as well, but in later videos we will try to explore more fun stuff related to JavaScript in Splunk as well. Now to start with, what we'll do first today is, if you remember when I created that video for dashboard with submit button and interactive filter, we created this particular dashboard, right? TMDB first dashboard. Now what we'll do is, in each and every video, we will try to re-implement this particular dashboard, but fully with JS. Okay, and while doing that, we will try to make some more modifications to the existing panels, or maybe we can create a new panels. Okay, so that I will decide when I will be creating that particular dashboard, but overall we will try to re-implement this particular dashboard and see how we can do the stuff in JS. Okay, now the intention is to let you guys know how we can implement the stuff in JS. In real life scenario, as I said, you need to basically use both of these things together, XML and JS, to get full benefit of it. Okay, it's not like you have to implement the full thing in JS or full thing in XML. Whatever part is best suit for XML, let's keep it in XML, otherwise we'll do it in JS. But as I will be demoing mainly for the JS, so that's why I'll be implementing the full stuff in JS today. Okay, now first thing, as I said, we will be working with the search manager. So today we will try to implement this guy, this single panel over here. Okay, so for that, what we'll do is we will create a new dashboard. We'll give it a name called TMDB dashboard dashboard underscore JS, as we will be implementing with JS, nothing else. Okay, so we'll just create the dashboard. We'll first go to source. Okay, we'll make it as form. Okay, let's label as it is. Okay, now we will go to, this is the dashboard we created fully in XML, right? So if I just go to edit, source, so what we did, we basically created a base search over here. If you see it, right, this base search ID, and based on this search result for the single panel where we are basically showing up the total movies, we basically created a post-process search over here. If you see it, right, this search is basically depend on this particular base search, and we displayed the result in this single panel over here. Okay, so this stuff we will implement in JavaScript today. So for that, what we need to do first is, in our TMDB app, we need to go to app server static folder. So if you do not have this folder in your application, you need to create it. Okay, so all the JavaScript files are stored in this particular folder over here. And if you remember when I discussed the multi-select, so I created this multiselect.js over there, right? So what we'll do is I'll just copy and paste this guy over here. I'll name it as tmdb.js. Okay, and I will just delete the content from this file. So if I just open, so that we'll start from fresh over here. Just to create the JS file, I just copied that multiselect.js and pasted it over there. Okay, and this is the JS file. Right now, how I will let my dashboard know which JS file I am referring to. So this is how we did it for multi-select, right? So we just give it a name, script equals to the script name. The same stuff we'll do it over here as well. Okay, in the form, we'll say script equals to tmdb.js over there. Okay, so now after doing that, once we need to restart Splunk so that it knows that there is a JS file exists. After that, we will just bump the website and try to make the changes in JS file and see how it's working over there. Okay, so I'll just restart the Splunk once, then we'll come back. Okay, our Splunk has been restarted. So we'll go over there. Now to use the bump, so this is how we will be using it. Till this language we need to copy, okay, and then /_bump. Okay, so whenever you make any changes to the JavaScript, you just and you do not want to restart the Splunk, you just do a bump over here and it will take the change over there. Okay, so we'll go to TMDB app. We'll go to dashboard. So this is the dashboard we are working on now, and this was the dashboard we created in XML over there. So we'll keep both of this open so that we will know. Now first thing is, as I said it over here, we have to create a base search, right? And to do that one, what we'll do is we'll go to this website over here. Okay, now this is the Splunk documentation of web framework. You can go through this one as well. I'll giving the link over here. The first thing is how you can load the libraries and other components in Splunk. Okay, so this is the structure of the whole code. That means this is giving me, as I said, required.js is used to basically load the dependencies. This is how you load the dependencies over here. So let us first copy this guy over here. Okay, in our tmdb.js. So what this guy is doing basically, if you see at last, this is adding this one, Splunk JS /MVC /simple XML /ready, then this exclamatory mark, right? So this is the code for the Splunk JS libraries. Okay, and other components, like when you want to work with save searches or you want to create a drop down in JavaScript, so those components you have to add separately over here, like this one. Okay, so this is our function. So structure wise, this is the one, and for each and every component, whatever it is returning, it basically each and every component returns an object. So that object we will be referring as a Splunk, this function argument as well over here. Okay, so let me give you an example of how to create a search. So for that, if you just go to this Splunk Web Framework component reference, so there are three kinds of search you can create. As I said, a normal base search, then a post-process search, then a save search. To create a normal base search, what you need to do, you need to basically add this library path over here, right? So we will add this guy to our code. So we will be adding as a component over here. So let us remove this components, other components. I will be adding this guy over here within single quote. Okay, now as I added this guy over here, I need to add a returned object name over here as well. Here you can use any name. Okay, so as the examples they have given it over here, so I'll just copy this name over here. Let's say this one. Okay, so this is the search manager, which is basically referring to this guy. Now this one do not return anything over there, so that's why you do not need to add any component reference over here, like the object reference over here in the function parameter. Okay, so that's why it is always good to add this guy at the last. Okay, and you have to add this guy as well, otherwise the JS framework will not know the other libraries. Basically this one is having the codes necessary for execute the other stuff, so this one is required at any cost. Okay, so we loaded the search manager, okay, the code. Now we will create a search manager over here. Okay, so we will go back, and this is how you create a search manager. If you see it over here, a new search manager. So I'll just copy this one. Okay, now if you see, this is the same name I am referring over here as a function parameter. Okay, now what it requires, so if we just go back to the documentation, now this is important. So I may not be able to show you all these things present over here, but I will be able to show you a path where if you just know where to find what, the new stuff, you can always come back over here and get it. If you see it in the documentation, there are three things: properties, even the search properties, and the methods and the events over here, right? Now properties means when we talk about a Splunk search, right? So what it basically have, it has a search query, right? So that is nothing but this search over here. It has a basically the app context and the owner context, right? Whether you want to save the search result in cache or not, it has a specific ID as well, right? So those stuffs are properties of the search. Even if you see it over here, there are other stuff as well, like earliest time, latest time. So those stuff, max count, max time, those stuffs are the properties of the search. And the way you want to give a property in search is this way. Under the search manager, you will give the property name and the property value in by colon separated. Okay, so this is how you will be providing the properties of the search. Now for our case, we will give an ID of this search. Let's say we will give the name as we did it over here in our first dashboard. We have given a search ID called base search. So we will just copy this one over here. So this is the same stuff, whatever we give it in XML over there. Okay, you can give the earliest time and latest time as well, right? Now in previous video, what we did is we used a time picker and then we passed this time picker earliest and latest over here. Now as we still not created the time picker in JS, so what we'll do is we will have earliest time as full time, let's say 0 to now. In later videos we will try to rectify it. Okay, now preview equals to true, and cache, if you want to save the search result in cache, you want to enable it, you may have to give it as true over here. Okay, now in development environment this is very handy, because when you work with a search which basically takes longer time to run and give you the result, when you developing something, right, you can put that result in a cache and then develop. Then maybe when you are moving to production, then you want to make this cache as false, so that it will always take the search result over there. Okay, now the search, so this is the search string over here, right? So we will just copy this guy over here. So what it is doing basically, so if I just do a search over here, so from our TMDB index, it's basically pulling up all the movie details in a table, like movie ID, the release date, titles, genre ID, all this stuff. And if you see, like genre ID was a JSON array, right? So that's why I use the MV expand to expand it as well over there. Okay, so those stuff. So we can use the same search string over here as well. Okay, so I will paste it. Now one thing is, as you are giving it as a string over here, right? So if you have quotes inside your search, you have to escape it like this one with this slash, right? So others way, there is a date format, so I'll just escape it here as well. Okay, and here as well in the fill null. Okay, so our search string is ready over here. Okay, now let's talk about that search a little bit more. If I just go to a framework reference, so we saw how we can set a property of a search, right? Now methods means these are the methods available for a search, right? You can cancel a search, you can get the search result as well. I will show you an example of this guy today. Okay, you can finalize the search using code. So those stuff you can do using this method. Okay, and event means, suppose generally when a search completes or search is progress, you want to set some token over there, right? So that means basically the different search phases, those events you can handle it using this guy as well over here. We'll see an example as well today. Okay, but in the latter stage. But these are the things available for a particular search manager. Okay, now let's get back to our code over here. So we created a base search. Now for the panel, we need to have a post-process search as well, right? So let us create a post-process search as well. So we'll again go to the web framework reference over here. Okay, now this is the post-process manager. Okay, this is used to create a post-process search. So similar way, this is the library path I'll be adding to my code. Okay, and as I added this one, so this one I have to add it in my function definition as well as a parameter, right? So what I'll do is I'll just copy this name, post process manager. Okay, you can use any name. So as I said, you can use any name, but you have to remember that whatever name you are using it over here in that new, that whenever you are creating that object, right? So you have to use the similar name over here as well. Okay, so to create a post-process manager, just follow this example over here. Okay, so I'll just copy this here. Okay, so that's why I use the same name if you see it over here. Okay, so it has to have a ID. So I'll give a name, let's say single panel search. Okay, so I'll give a ID. Now the manager ID is the ID of the base search. So this is our base search, which ID was base_search. So I'll be providing this guy over here. Okay, now let us go back to our XML dashboard. Okay, so this is our JS one. In the XML dashboard, the total movie was my single panel, right? So over there we basically passed some tokens, and then we basically did up on the movie ID and was taking the stats count. Now as we still not learned how to pass a token in the JavaScript, so we will, for now we will not implement this one. In later videos we will implement this one as well. Okay, so this will be our post process search for now. So let us do that one. Okay, so this will be our post process search. So our post process search is also ready. Now if you see the documentation for the post process search, so it has the similar kind of stuff. So you can have the search properties, but these are important, like ID, the manager ID, and the search string. Okay, some other properties we have it just like our normal base search. Okay, the similar kind of methods are also available for the post process search. Similar kinds of events are also available for the post process search over here. Okay, so we created the post process search as well. Now let us get back to our dashboard, which is currently not have anything over here. Now we want to implement that single panel, right? Now in Splunk, generally whatever panel we have it's always bind to a search, right? So you always give a search behind the scene in our XML, right? So similar way, when you want to create a panel in JavaScript, right, we have to bind our search as well over there. So for that, what I need to do first is let's add a row over here. Okay, in our XML we'll create a panel over here as well. Okay, now in the panel we will create a HTML tag over here. Okay, and we'll create a div over here with a ID, let's say single value or single panel, or let's say total movie count. Okay, so I'll just give this ID over here. Now the same ID I'll be referring to my JavaScript, so that here whatever things I will be rendering from the JavaScript, it will be rendered for this particular div. So that's why I created this div over here. Okay, now I will go to this JavaScript level. Now we have to create a single panel, right? So similar stuff we will do. We'll go to web framework component reference. Now over here, this is the single view, right? So the library path is this one. Let us add it to our JavaScript like this one. Okay, so we added the single view, so you have to add it to our function parameter as well. So I'll just copy this name, comma single view. Right, now how we can create a single view like this one, whatever we have present, we have it in our example like this one. Okay, now it requires a ID. You can give any ID over here. So let's say single view count, let's say. Okay, now as I said, each and every panel or each and every visualization basically bind to a search. So that here you have to give this manager ID, the search manager ID over here. Now as this will be the base search, then post process search. So this post process search ID, we will be using it over here because we need the count, right? That's why after this search run, we will basically deduct on ID and take the stats count over here, right? So that's why I'm giving the post process manager ID over here. Okay, now before label we will not use it now. Okay, now the EL, this is important. So here basically you are basically telling in your dashboard for which div ID you are basically rendering this single value over here, right? So if I just go back to our dashboard, this JS dashboard, so this is the ID we have given, right? So for this ID we want to display the single value. So that's why in this EL you want to give. Now if you see this hash, this is the jQuery way of accessing a div with its ID. Okay, so you have to basically give over here a valid document identifier in the DOM identifier over here, basically the element identifier over here. Okay, so this is important. Even this whole thing is a jQuery syntax over here. Okay, so we created the single view and using this render method. And if you just go over here in the document framework, so these are the properties, like some of it we used it over here, like the ID and the manager ID, the ID of the search manager. Okay, now methods, if you see it over here, the render, it basically draws the view on the screen, right? So it basically called when only you create the view manually in the JavaScript over here. So that is what we did it over here as well. So that's why we called this render method of the single view to render that particular single view for this particular div. Okay, okay, now let us first try to see how it is displaying over here. Now as we changed in the JavaScript, so we have to bump it once. Okay, if you see it, it is not displaying anything over here. So we will just bump it once, okay, using this way over here, and then refresh this particular. And if you see it over here, it is displaying the total movie count over here, 87, right? So if I just go back over here, so if I just do it for all time, submit. Okay, so this is the whole movie count. It is showing up over here, 87 over here, right? Now one thing is the panel title is missing over here. Now these colors are missing over here, and the total movies, this below 87, there is a total movie also we are writing it over here, that is also missing from this output over here. This is not looking good over here, right? Now let us try to see how we can fix it. So for that, again I will go back to the edit mode for this particular panel we created before in the XML, right? Now over here, if you see it in the panel level, we are using a lot of options over here, like the color mode, drill down, range colors, under label, those stuff, right? So now let us try to see if those things are available at the JavaScript level as well, right? If I just go to web framework reference for single view, and if you see it over here, those things are available over here as well, right? The color mode and range colors, those stuff. So we will try to set these properties one by one. So what we'll do is we will refer this guy. So first is the color mode equals to block over here, right? So what I'll do is I will copy this one, color mode, and I'll say it over here, ID equals to this one, color mode equals to block. Okay, so I'll be giving a color mode of block over here. Now what are the other things we are using it over here is drill down none, that is fine. The range colors, okay, range colors will do a latter side, under level, right? So that's the total movies we are showing up under that 87, right? So let us copy this one as well, the under label, copy over here, paste, colon the value of the underlevel. And what will be the value of the underlevel for us? It will be the total movies, correct? So I'll be pasting it over here. Now if I just save it, okay, let's do the range color as well. Okay, so the range colors will be doing it over here now. And if you see it, like from the options, whatever we are setting it up, the names are same as the properties name over there, right? So we are doing it in similar way. So the range colors, it basically takes an array. So we will just copy this guy over here, okay, and we will paste it over here, the range colors, okay. And what else we are missing? It use colors. So that is, there is an option of use colors as well. So I will just copy this guy and I will say use colors. It is either true or false, so I'll say true, okay. I'll give it a comma over here, save it. I'll just do a bump over here, and let's try to see, once we refresh, it is taking the colors or not in similar way. Okay, this is coming up, if you see it, the total movies, but color is not same as whatever we have it over here, right? The orange color is not coming up over here. Now let us try to understand this one. Now if I just go to edit mode, go to format visualizations over here and go to this color, if you see it over here, we uses lot of ranges, right? From 0 to 30 this color, 30 to 70 this color, 70 to 100 this color. So that's why it is showing up this orange color over here, right? So we have to give the similar stuff over there as well, okay. But in the XML, it is not showing up because maybe we were using the default values. That's why maybe in XML it was not coming up. So let us try to see in the documentation if something is there or not, okay. If I just go up over here, under the range colors we have a range values as well, okay. What it is taking is taking a numeric array that specifies the range limits of the coloring. So this was missing in our JavaScript code, right? So that we will be specifying over here, okay. You can give in any order. I am just giving it in this order so that it will be easier to understand, okay. So we will be trying to give the similar way we have given it over here, okay. So format visualizations colored, so 0, 30, 70, 100, okay. So this is how we will be giving the range 0, 30, 70, 100. So you have to remember one thing over here, okay. Whatever ranges you are giving it over here, so it has to match with corresponding range values over here. If let's say if you do not have any of the range values specifying, it will automatically take some gray colors over here, okay. So that you have to remember. There will be a comma over here. Now if I just do a bump and test it out, okay. Now ideally if we are doing it correctly, it should show up the orange color over here. And regarding the title, if you see it over here, the panel title, so you can create with simple panel title over here as well, okay. If I just go to source, and we can just directly copy from here as well the panel title, okay, this title over here, okay. So that's all. So we basically created the single view panel fully using the JavaScript over here, okay. Now let us try to see another stuff related to this search manager. Like as I told you, I'll try to show you how we can basically access the result of any search from the JavaScript level, because that is important. Sometimes when you run a search from the JavaScript, one of the main intention could be how we can access the search result as well. For that one, what we'll do is I'll give this whole object as a name, is a variable name. Okay, let's say search or post, single panel post search. Okay, single panel post search, because we are our intention will be now how we can access this 87, the value 87 it is showing up in our dashboard, right? How we can access that value from our JavaScript level. So now if I just go back over here to the documentation for the search or the post process manager, right? So one of the method you can use it over here is called the data, right? Now for that, what we'll do is I will go to the search manager. Okay, because here it is explained in proper way. Now if I just go to the data method, if you see it over here, what it returns, basically it returns a Splunk result model object. So I will open this one over here. Okay, so this is the Splunk result model object over here. Now to call it, you need to pass a result type, which could be either events if you want to just access the raw events, or if you want to access the preview, or simple results, or the summary of the data. With after applying the field summary, it creates some summary records or summary values from there, right? If you want to know more about the field summary command, I created one video for that one, just check it out there. Okay, so those details also you can access from the JavaScript. Now apart from that, there is a optional attributes also you can give, like how many results you want to return and the offset from the primary index data. Okay, so that you can give it as well over here. So what we'll do is, so that's why when you want to call a method for a particular component, right, you have to create a variable which is basically hold the object of this particular method over here. Okay, so then you can do something like this one. So I'll say this guy, okay, dot on. Now before I do that one, so we want to basically access this result. So the current use case I am implementing over here is we want to access this result only when the search is completed, so that we will cover both of these things together, how we can basically respond to a search event as well as how we can call a method of a search. Okay, search manager. So we want to do it when the search is done over here. So that's why this on over here. Okay, on this search done, what we'll do is we will call a function over here, right? The similar way function. Okay, it includes properties as a method, so that properties hold a lot of information like how many results are returned and those stuff. Okay, properties. Now this function we will implement now. Okay, so we won't be able to see anything from the UI, but we will do the console.log and then try to see it over there. Okay, we will go back to the documentation for the results. So if you see it, let me open it. So this is the Splunk result model, right? So whenever we call that data method, if you see it over here, they have given an example of a drop down and then accessing the drop down search result over here. So how they did it? So they did like this one for my result, this one. Okay, let me copy this guy over here and then maybe I'll try to explain it. So now here we are basically creating a new variable, and what is the search? This is the search, right? And data, and what we want to access it over here, we want to access only the result, right? So if I just go up, we want to access the results, not anything else over here. Okay, so that is what we will be giving it over here. Okay, the results. So we got the Splunk results object, so that particular object we got it over here, Splunk result model object. Now using this particular object we can access the results over here. Okay, this way. So let me go back over here. So what we essentially doing it, when the search is getting finished, we are basically trying to access the result over here. Now we will say my similar way my results, okay, dot on. When the data will be available, then we will basically try to run a function over here similar way. Okay, so this function here, basically we will try to just do some console.log and see whether we can get that 87 whatever we are printing in our dashboard or rendering in our dashboard, right? Whether we will try to see whether we can access it or not from here. Now if I just go back to the documentation for the Splunk result model, if you see it over here, they have three methods. One is the data. It returns the array of the rows containing the data. It also returns a collection, returns is backbone collection containing the array of rows. So any one of it, you can use it to access the data. And this is the method called has data, which basically returns a boolean thing like true or false to indicate like whether that particular object contains data or not. Okay, this is useful when you want to do some kind of checking over there, right? So let us try to print it over here. So console.log. So I'll say my results dot has data, right? So this is the one. I'll just copy it over here. Okay, as it is a method, that's why this bracket is needed over here. Okay, so this will print whether that particular, whether our search is returning any data or not. To get the results, how we will do it? We will first console dot log, okay, my results dot data. Okay, so we will first print this one, then we will try to see. Even let's print another stuff. Console dot log my results dot collection. Okay, these three things we are printing it over here and see how it's returning the data. Then maybe we'll try to see the how we will basically access that value over here. So we have to bump it once. Now if we just run this dashboard again, okay, here we won't be able to identify anything. We will press F12 over here to go to console over here, and if you see it, it's printing the object. So this is the object for the returned value from that data method. Okay, now if you see, first it is printing true because has data is printing true. That means our object is having some data, which is basically 87. How you will see it, if you expand this object over here and go to rows, it contains an array. The first element is 87 over here. If it is having multiple rows, this array will have multiple elements over here. Similarly, the third method, the collection method, is returning backbone.collection. And if you see it over here, the raw, okay, this also holds the field value over here, if you see it over here. Okay, and this also have a rows which is having the similar information of this one over here. Okay, so as any one of this method you can use to access the data. Now how you will access it, let me try to show you one simple example. This is the output of the data method, right? I'm talking about this guy over here, right? So data, then what we'll do, we'll say data dot rows, then the first row, the first rows, first column. So this is the row number, this is the column number over here. Okay, so this is how I will access it. Dot rows. So that's why these rows coming up over here from this object structure over here. Then the first row. So once when it will having multiple rows, it will be having multiple entries over here. Okay, so that means to indicate the first row, how I will do is giving a 0, the row number over here. Similarly, to indicate the column over here, I'll be giving the column name number over here as well, if you see it. Ideally, if you have multiple rows, you want to loop through this one and then take actions accordingly. Okay, so as I am having a single row, that's why I'm not wasting time to loop through that one. Okay, similarly for collection also we can do the same stuff. So under collection, what is there? First we have to go to raw, then rows, then 0 0, something like this one, right? So collection dot raw, then this structure. So as I said, anything you can use any one of it you can use to get the data over there. Okay, so if I just run it now, so before run it, let us try to bump it once and run it. If you see it, it is able to print 87. Okay, I don't know, for certain reasons it is calling it twice. I have to understand that one. Okay, but it is printing the data over here as well. Okay, so this is how we can use the Splunk web framework, specifically the JS stack, to create a search manager, basically to create a search, to create a base search, even to create a post process search, even if you want to refer a save search, the similar way you can do. You want to basically, if I just go over here, you want to basically use this guy over here, save search manager over here. Okay, same way you have to load this library and just follow the examples they have given it over here. Okay, and also we saw like how we can create a single view panel from the JavaScript and then just do the formatting over there. And also we saw how we can basically get the search results as well in the JavaScript level. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. In next videos we'll try to see some more fun stuff about the JavaScript level. Okay, see you in next video.